Now at 5, we can't outrun the rain this Derby week. Today kicks off the first of 3 alert days in place for rain and storms that are moving in. How it could impact what you're wearing to the track and your drive out there. And traffic's not the only thing top of mind for police and first responders this week. What they say that you need to watch out for if you were headed to Churchill Downs as we near Derby 151. Another milestone reached this week. President Trump marked 100 days in office today, but most polls show the president is performing unfavorably on a number of issues. What Americans say they want to see from the president and his administration going forward.
With Alert Day coverage now, this is Wave News.
We're taking a live look at the radar on this Alert Day. We've already seen some storms move through, and severe threat isn't over yet. We thank you for watching Wave News at 5. I'm Myra Ansari. Today marks the start of a busy week at Churchill Downs, and we've got team coverage of 5 Tuesday at the track. Brian Schlonsky, my co-anchor, is out there. Alina Noakes and David Mattingly are all out at Churchill Downs, checking out what's happening leading up to Derby 151. But first, we want to check in with Chief Meteorologist Kevin Harnett with more on how the alert day is going to impact those leaving the track this evening.
You know, Myra, the good news is they got the bulk of the day in without any rain, and the rain is going to push closer. But as they're running the last race right now, or it's just coming to an end, it looks like they'll get out of there in time before the bulk of the next round moves our way. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch across areas to our north, northeast, and back out to the west until 9 o'clock. The severe thunderstorm warning for northern parts of Lawrence County, western Jackson County, still in place until 5:30, so another 30 minutes on that warning. Has produced some small hail, some very heavy rain with that, yielding some flood warnings as well. Now you look at the satellite view, we're starting to build in more cloud cover. That is coming out ahead of the next round of storms, and you can see those already crossing the state line from Illinois into Indiana. A number of warnings with those butting up against Du Bois County, so next in line would be Du Bois. Southern Indiana will be impacted first by this wave of storms, and eventually Louisville will, probably somewhere closer to that 7 o'clock time frame. So if you're looking to get out of the track, get out before that 7 o'clock time comes around. You should avoid at least the steady rain. Otherwise, we've got pockets of downpours scattered from E-Town to Bardstown, up toward Frankfort and back across parts of Henry County. These downpours are not severe at this point, but they are producing some heavy rain and lightning. Again, thunderstorm warnings are possible as we go into the evening hours. The next 12 is going to show the greatest percentage for that would be between now and about 8 p.m. After that, the storm chances come way down. We've got alert days in store for tomorrow and again on Thursday. Rain chances for parts of Oaks and Derby Day. We're going to talk more about that in the 10-day earliest alert coming up. Let's get out to Churchill Downs where the final race just wrapped up. Here's Brian Schlonsky.
Yeah, Kevin, a lot of people heeding your warning about leaving the track before that 7 o'clock deadline because about 200 people just flooded past me out to the parking lots here ready to get home and beat some of that weather. It's been a tale basically of 3 days out here at the track. We came in, it was pouring rain, then it was pretty hot and sunny, and now it's just whipping winds and a few allergies here and there. It's all right. We're having a great time out here for 5 Tuesday, Louisville's day at the races. It's an iconic day the past 3 years because it celebrates all things local, and today part of that local celebration involves a local legend. We're talking the greatest, Muhammad Ali. I am joined now by Devon Holt, President and CEO of the Ali Center. It's always good to see you, my friend.
It's great to see you, and it's great to be at the track today.
Let's talk about why specifically today is the day the Ali Center says we got to mesh this with 5 Tuesday.
Well, you know, Churchill Downs obviously is known internationally. Muhammad Ali is known internationally, and if they are going to have a day where they recognize and celebrate the local attractions in this community, they felt like we had to put Muhammad Ali front and center. So it was a great day for us to be part of this.
In the tourism world, what is it like for you guys this week? I'm sure visitors come and see you all from all over the world.
You know, it's a beautiful thing. Throughout the year, the Muhammad Ali Center generates tourists from literally all around the world. And on Derby, there's no exception to that rule. People come here. They not only want to see the track, but they want to see all all the other notable amenities in this community, and the Muhammad Ali Center is absolutely one of them.
Well, Devon, our community thanks you and everyone there for the work you do highlighting the greatest. And you told me before you won a couple bets, so you got to go cash those in.
Got to go cash in. It was not only Muhammad Ali Day at the track, but we gave away our very first Aliville Classic trophy to Call Protection, the horse that won in the 8th race. And so hoping to make this an annual tradition where we get to celebrate a jockey running in the spirit of Muhammad Ali.
Now a big part of history on 5-0 Tuesday. Good to see you, Devon. I'll see you out here the rest of the week, perhaps. All right, so we have got team coverage out here at the track today, keeping you updated on everything that is happening at Churchill Downs. Of course, each day that goes by, things get a little crazier out here. The crowds get bigger as well. That, of course, can be a little overwhelming. Wave News reporter Alina Noakes is joining us live now on Central Avenue. She has some tips for all of us on getting down here to the track. Hey there, Alina.
Hey, Brian. Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to fight through some of the crowds when you come here to Churchill Downs this week, and it can be a little bit of a headache. Maybe buckle up while you're doing this, because one of the things you'll be fighting is the traffic. It's been a parking lot for most of the day, starting to clear up now that we've got people leaving the track, that final race having just wrapped up. We've got traffic cops trying to direct some traffic here, make sure people are getting to park where they need to. This is something that's going to be happening throughout the week, and the thing to keep in mind is that everyone is trying to just get inside all in one piece. Officials are just asking visitors to take the right steps to make sure that that's going to happen.
Derby week is upon us. It is 5-0 Tuesday.
It's time to leave the betting for the booths inside. Getting to the track safely works out best for the prepared on Derby week.
The more you know before coming to the track, the more enjoyable your experience is going to be.
You need a park?
So we asked seasoned track visitors what exactly people should know. They all agreed on one thing.
Come out here early, get a good parking spot. That's the best thing for you to do.
Derby week, you've got to be patient, look for your parking space, haggle with the parkers, because the guy tried to sell us $30. I said, I'll give you 20. We got that. It's close enough walking, but patience.
Whether you take the shuttle bus from the fairgrounds or try to nab a parking space near Central Ave, parking well is also the #1 tip from officials keeping visitors safe.
When you come out of the track, some people are really happy they won a lot, some didn't win as much, and believe it or not, some had libations while they were in there and don't know where their car is. Write it on a piece of paper, put it in your pocket, put it in your phone, take a picture of where you're at so that you don't lose your car or think someone stole it.
That said, the biggest concern with events like the Derby are people looking to take advantage. Visitors are asked to secure valuables out of reach of pickpocketers and keep an eye out for situations that just don't look right. The Derby is one of the most vulnerable events for victims of trafficking.
This is a premier opportunity for some of those who would prey on our population. And it goes back to that, if you see something, say something.
The big thing to keep in mind, too, from Derby officials is to make sure you're checking the list of what you're not allowed to bring inside. In addition to some outside alcohol, yes, I said that, don't need to bring an umbrella in either. That's something that's prohibited. Instead, bring a rain jacket or a poncho to help keep you away from the storms. We, again, have a stormy forecast for the week. Just make sure that you're following the instructions of people inside if the severe weather does get to a point where you're going to need to take some shelter. They said there's plenty of space inside the venue to get people who have come by the thousands sheltered in place safely. Live in downtown, live on Central Avenue, rather. Alina Noakes, Wave News.
Yeah, Alina, hard to know where we are when the wind is whipping like this. I've always wanted to say, hold on to your hats. When Devon and I were doing that interview here, several hats blew off the heads. They're beautiful hats of the women around here rolling through the paddock like a couple of tumbleweeds. All right, let's talk tickets here for a second, because they are still on sale for the other days here this week. Downs.com, the place to go for that. Wednesday, Thurby, Oaks, and Derby tickets, all still available online. You can choose to be in the infield, or you can opt for some reserved seating options. All the tickets are digital. They can be accessed through the Churchill Downs app, and Churchill suggests that you do that before you come down here to the track. You know that a lot of cell phones here, and it's hard to get a hold of anybody. It's the same thing when you're trying to get to your tickets. So add it to your phone's wallet, and that'll avoid delays when you're going through the gate due to poor service or long login times. All right, Myra, we're holding it down here in the paddock, at least for the last hour and a half or so here on this 5-0 Tuesday, and we're having fun. We miss you out here, though.
I'm really impressed by the crowds out there, Brian. Looks like everyone is taking advantage of 5-0 Tuesday for sure.
So far, everybody's been having a good time. They love these gaps in the weather where it's not too hot, not too rainy, not too windy. That's when everybody comes around here to the paddock, starts taking their pictures.
More covered spaces, too, which is nice.
Yeah, of course.
All right, thanks so much, Brian. And we're the ones to watch for the 151st running at the Kentucky Oaks and the Kentucky Derby, from the Derby contenders to the parties to the fashion trends and everything in between. Wave is your official Kentucky Derby station. You can watch our coverage from wherever you are, on the air, on the app, and on our streaming platforms. Churchill Downs is working on an effort to protect horses out on the track. We're taking a look at the system that they're implementing, hoping to prevent any more horse deaths. Plus, Brittany Ferree avoided prison. Jamie Knoll did not. How she wants the court to prioritize Knoll's child support payment to her from the millions the courts are trying to recover.
Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Now, Wave News.
Bond was reduced for a woman arrested in connection to a shooting death in the Highlands neighborhood. Lanisha Blakely made her first appearance before a judge this morning. She's charged in connection to the death of Bryant Johnson. LMPD says that Johnson was shot in the leg before escaping in his car and then eventually crashing into another vehicle. Johnson died from his injuries. Blakey's bond was originally set at $75,000 and reduced to $50,000. She's charged with Johnson's murder and assault of a woman. New at 5, former Clark County Council member Brittany Ferree, who is on probation for taking money from Jamie Knoll while voting to fund his ambulance contracts, wants Knoll to keep paying child support to their son while he's in prison. Knoll, the disgraced former Clark County sheriff, is currently serving a 12-year prison sentence after pleading guilty to several felonies, including theft and corruption. He also owes more than $3 million in restitution. Some of the money he stole was used to pay child support to Ferree. After Knoll went to prison, his lawyers asked a judge to convert his $10,000 in overdue child support into a legal judgment. The court agreed and gave Ferree permission to collect on that judgment from money seized by the courts from Knoll. A special prosecutor is now trying to collect the judgment for Ferree, as well as ongoing $554 a week Knoll is supposed to pay. Special Judge Larry Medlock has yet to rule on the motion. Kentucky Derby week kicking off with 5-0 Tuesday at Churchill Downs. We're going to head back to the celebration of all things Louisville coming up next.
Oh, you're tracking some downpours and even some severe weather across the area. You can see from our camera in Bardstown, looks like night almost. Yeah, they've got a pretty good thunderstorm nearby there. And we've got back-to-back alert days continuing for not just today, but will include Wednesday and Thursday. A lot of you want to know, what about Oaks and Derby? We've got that too when we come back with our 10-day earliest alert.
All right, it is an alert day, and Kevin, so much to talk about today, tomorrow, and Thursday, back-to-back, and so many things happening around town.
Yeah, and today was a good idea of what has happened, where it doesn't rain all day. Some areas have stayed completely dry. The track has not been a bad place to be today, but we do have rain moving in, so it really is a timing issue, and just understanding the frequency isn't for the complete day.
Yeah.
So just know that if you go, there may be a temporary interruption. Let's get to it. We've got two more alert alert days to get through, and we're not finished with today. So really, it's 3 more alert days: today, tomorrow, and Thursday. So we'll focus on all of the ones stacked up. Today, we already have the severe thunderstorm watch that's in place, and we're not finished with the severe weather. The racing may be over at Churchill Downs, but the weather is still rolling, and we're going to have to see a wave of storms push in our direction. We have the enhanced risk area for severe weather today. That's a marginal risk on Wednesday, Thursday, and while we take the risk out for Friday and Saturday, we still have at least a rain chance for Oaks and Derby, and I'll explain that in a second as well. If you're making plans over the next few days, here's what you need to know. This is the timing part we were talking about. We're in that first round of severe. That'll take us through about mid-evening, and that fades away. We reset the atmosphere, and tomorrow between about 3 or 4 p.m. and 10 or 11 in the evening, we've got another block of severe opportunity. And then that, again, will reset and come into our Thursday night, Friday early morning time frame. So that's going to be an evening round where we could see some wind, and the potential for that flash flooding is there with any of these heavier downpours. All right, so it's 3 days, similar to what we had not all that long ago, though it doesn't look quite as strong as that, where we could have these repetitive rounds of storms, some of them severe. So when you look at the Oaks and Derby outlook, let me just point out what we're looking at for those 3 days. Thursday comes in with that late afternoon, early evening storm chance, takes us to about the midnight hour. We'll taper that down for Friday to a 30 to 40% chance, and then that goes as low as 20% for the midday time frame, bringing it back up in the afternoon, 6 o'clock. That's back up to about a 60% rain chance Friday afternoon, and then we'll taper that off. By midday on Saturday, we're back down to a 20 to 30% rain chance and continuing to drop that. Well, it's not a completely dry Oaks and Derby day. Let's get you outside. Our SkyTrack Mesonet cameras from the Kentucky Mesonet, based out of the Climate Center at Western Kentucky University, showing temperatures in the upper 70s, low 80s. We mentioned the severe thunderstorm watch that's in place until 9 o'clock. Thunderstorms continue to build across parts of Indiana. Look at the lightning with those. Severe thunderstorm warnings coming right up to the viewing area. Du Bois County, Lawrence County, Orange County would be next in line to see some of those stronger storms. Embedded in that has been some small hail, and with the heavy rain, we have the flash flood warning. The warning that we had for Lawrence and Jackson counties have expired. In Louisville, no storms now, but we just looked to the north, up I-65 in Sellersburg, downpours, and all along the parkways from E-Town to Bardstown over toward Lexington. The Bluegrass Parkway seeing some very strong storms down there, but still sub-severe. This front's going to get closer to us as the night wears on. As that happens, it will bring that wave of rain into the Louisville area. So it's scattered before then, should arrive around 7 o'clock. And then we get into tomorrow morning. Warm front lifting to the north, few more scattered storms in the afternoon. We'll have to watch for the threat of severe weather again tomorrow and for Thursday. We look at the 10-day forecast. You can see tomorrow and Thursday hold our alert days. Fairly strong chances for showers and thunderstorms and a severe chance. Rain chance 60% Oaks Day and 30% on Derby Day as we timed out. It is drier for the second half of the weekend and much of next week. Myra.
All right. Thanks so much, Kevin. Well, a number of people braved today's on and off rain, as we've just been talking about, to head to the track for 5-0 Tuesday at Churchill Downs. And that's where we find my co-anchor, Brian Schlonsky, who's been talking to people enjoying the festivities. And Brian, I saw earlier, people are just holding on to their fascinators and hats. It's pretty windy out there.
It really is, and some people don't have the chance to reach up there and grab them, and those big wind gusts hit, and off they go. Like we said, tumbleweeds rolling through the paddock area. A lot of people choosing this opportunity to head out on this 5-0 Tuesday. They're getting their last pictures here in the beautiful paddock area and outside with the Aristides Trophy before they head home and hopefully come back here for Wednesday. So if you do plan on coming back out here to the track throughout the week, Wednesday, Derby, Oaks and Derby, some important reminders we have for you on some of the things you can and cannot bring. Clearly, we've got some rain here in the forecast, so an important reminder, umbrellas are not allowed inside any part of Churchill Downs. You'll need to pack a poncho, bring a rain jacket instead. Just, hey, embrace it, make it part of the outfit. You can bring in a bag as long as it's no larger than 12 inches by 6 inches by 12 inches. No outside food or drink is allowed. If you're headed to the infield, though, a little different. You got to stay there, but you can only bring boxed lunches and sealed water. You can also bring collapsible camping chairs, tarps, picnic blankets, anything smaller than 10 by 10 on those blankets. Tents and coolers are not allowed, so just another reminder that there are some things you can bring. There's a full list of this on Churchill Downs' website, and we'll be keeping you updated as they're rolling some of the equipment through here on the paddock. That tells you that things are kind of wrapping up here on this 5-0 Tuesday. Myra, back to you.
It's almost the end of the day, folks. Have had a good time. Thanks so much, Brian. And we're going to be sure to check in back with Brian here as 5-0 Tuesday continues at Churchill Downs. Well, Starbucks is working out the kinks to get your order faster to you. More on the technology helping make that happen next. Walmart and Target have started doing business again with some of their Chinese suppliers. Both companies paused orders for a few weeks due to uncertainties over the pressures of U.S. tariffs on goods imported from China. The resumption comes days after a meeting last week between President Donald Trump and the heads of Walmart, Target, Lowe's, and Home Depot. President Trump's 145% tariffs on Chinese goods have led many American retailers to suspend or cancel outright previous agreements with their suppliers in the country. Southwest Airlines has made updates to its fare bundles. There are 4 to choose from that include the Choice Extra, Choice Preferred, Choice, and Basic. Now, as its title suggests, Choice Extra is the most pricey selection. It allows you to board early, get 2 free checked bags, complimentary internet, and more. And these new bundles will go on sale later this year for flights in 2026. Starbucks is implementing a new drink scheduling system that can help you get your order faster. The system apparently has shaved 2 minutes off the average time to make a drink ordered inside cafes. Currently, baristas handle orders as they come in. Starbucks plans to soon expand the technology to hundreds of other locations. Well, as we've been telling you, 5-0 Tuesday continues at Churchill Downs. We're checking back in live with our crews to see what's going on at the track next.
With Alert Day coverage now, this is Wave News.
Well, taking a live look at our radar, you can see pretty active there. We know it took some time to put those derby looks together, so it'd be a shame if this weather were to ruin it. So that band of showers moving in may have you grabbing the poncho for the track this week. We have a trifecta of alert days leading into Oaks and Derby. Chief Meteorologist Kevin Harna joins us now. So with what can we expect for the rest of 5-0 Tuesday today, Kevin?
Yeah, we're still waiting to see the bulk of these storms even move into Louisville, and that will happen in that 7 o'clock hour, it looks like, Myra. There are a few scattered ones out there between now and then. Bardstown seeing a pretty good downpour. Notice the flags whipping, the trees blowing hard. We also have some very heavy rain falling there in Bardstown. So that is reminiscent of some of these storms that we're tracking on the radar. The severe thunderstorm watch hugs the Ohio River, includes in Kentucky in our viewing area, parts of Meade and Breckinridge County. Carroll County's in that as well. You can see the bulk of the storms to the north and west, though there is that band that trails along the parkway, the Bluegrass Parkway from Bardstown over to Lexington with some heavy rain there. What's moving through Evansville and approaching Jasper, Indiana, eventually moves into Paoli. Bedford's had some very heavy rain and severe weather this afternoon. Additional downpours near the Bardstown area, stretching across northeast Nelson County, making your way over toward Frankfort and Lexington. Those are where we have the current downpours on the radar. The lone severe weather we have sits just out to the west of our viewing area. That could be moving a little closer to us over the course of the next few hours, and we'll be watching that. Right now, most of these storms are sub-severe. Temperatures are going to be in the 60s overnight tonight. The 30% rain chance will eventually drop, so we wind up seeing that number go down after the chance for showers and storms remains fairly high through the mid-evening time frame. As that drops tonight, we will see it increase again tomorrow. Myra, we have alert days for Wednesday, Thursday, and we still have rain chances in our Friday, Oaks Day, and Saturday, Derby Day forecasts. We'll have that for you in an update with the 10-day coming up.
I think we'll be adjusting our outfits. Thanks so much, Kevin. Well, many people at Churchill Downs had to dodge that rain at the track. It's been off and on throughout today, but it hasn't stopped people from placing their bets. My co-anchor Brian Schlotsky joins us live at Churchill Downs, where he's got to see how the racetrack is putting a spotlight on Louisville's day at the track.
Yeah, Myra, it's really been a lot of fun getting to talk to and meet so many locals out here. Now is the time in the day where the last race has wrapped out on the track, so it's kind of that great migration out to the buses that'll take folks to the expo center, to their cars, and then back home to wherever they may be, hopefully to beat the storms out here. All right, the races, of course, the center of all of this, and there was a spotlight a couple of years ago on horse deaths. There were some changes made, some improvements in 2024. So Wave News reporter David Mattingly has been asking, as we go to him now, what has been working, David, since those changes were made out here at Churchill Downs?
Well, Brian, what's working out here is apparently a pretty difficult question to answer. Entities that are tracking thoroughbred deaths point to 2024 as a time when they hit a 16-year low. And there were improvements here at Churchill Downs as well. Released in March, the 2024 annual report from HISA, the Horse Racing Integrity and Safety Authority, brought new optimism to the sport. The rate of racing fatalities at 47 tracks regulated by HISA dropped to 0.9 fatal injuries per 1,000 starts, down from 1.23 just the year before. Churchill Downs reported 6 dead for the year, a vast improvement over 2023 when 7 died at the track by Derby Day.
Can you point to anything and say this is working?
No, but I'll tell you it's truly a team effort. I mean, there are a lot of parties that are involved to help keep horses safe on the racetrack, from owners, trainers, the attending veterinarians, our regulatory structure.
When racing was suspended in 2023, Churchill Downs paid for upgrades to track maintenance and testing. Horses now race with sensors measuring their strides. And 2025 adds nuclear imagery, or PET scans, to its veterinary care.
Our big thing that we're really trying to drive this year is the science side of things, the technology side of things, and that's where PET comes in. It's a brand new piece of technology.
Churchill Downs investments in racing safety are intended as safeguards against a problem that is yet to be defined. There's never been a clear answer to why the 2023 spike in fatalities happened in the first place. Even critics of horse racing question if location was a factor.
The horse racing industry is a single entity. These horses are constantly being shuffled from track to track and across state lines to race. So the numbers are going to vary depending on where the horse ultimately breaks down. It doesn't mean that Churchill in 2023 was unusually less safe than other tracks.
Churchill Downs' first death of the new season came 9 days before Derby. A horse was euthanized on the track after fracturing both of its front legs. An unsettling start to a new year when confidence in equine safety is gaining strength.
Is it possible to get to 0 fatalities?
I think we can get very, very close to 0.
Why do you say that?
We just have to better use technology. Technology can help in every industry of the world. There is some type of advanced technology that can help identify subtle catastrophic injuries in a piece of equipment or in an athlete, a human athlete. So we just have to figure out how to adapt that technology for us here at the racetrack and for thoroughbreds to be able to help us identify those things. It can be found. We just have to figure out how to find it.
And the horse that had to be euthanized on this track last week was not injured in a race, so it is not counted among the racing fatalities. So in addition to the 6 horses that died from racing injuries here at Churchill Downs last year, add to that 7 other horses who died from training injuries. Reporting live, David Mattingly, Wave News.
All right, thank you, David. Of course, everybody hoping for a safe season here at Churchill Downs, a safe spring meet for the horses, the jockeys, and, of course, the crowds, the thousands of people who will be descending on the racetrack as we head throughout the week. 5-0 Tuesday basically coming to a close out here. The wind's starting to whip up, sending everybody back out to their cars now that the races are finished for the day. Myra, I think I just got a fresh dose of Churchill Downs track sand to the eye. So That's what people are dealing with as they leave on this 5-0 Tuesday. Been a great day, though. It'll be interesting to see how many folks actually made it out today. First 2 years they did this, they hit over 15,000 and change. So we'll see what the numbers look like this year.
That
Back
lady
to you.
right behind you lost her fascinator. So thanks so much, Brian.
It happens.
Well, Wave has you covered for all things Derby 151, from what's happening in and around the track, how to get there, what to bring, Derby parties, fashion, and all of that in between. You can check out our one-stop guide on wave3.com and on the Wave News app. And Wave News is your home for complete coverage of the 151st Kentucky Oaks and Kentucky Derby. Power was restored in Spain and Portugal after a blackout. How the two countries are slowly returning back to normal as the cause of the outage remains a mystery. And President Trump is marking 100 days in office today. We're taking a look at how Trump's policies and Project 2025 proposals match up. President Trump spending his 100th day in office in Michigan, a state that he won last year. But this year, businesses in the Motor City are dealing with the president's new tariff policies. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez has the details from Washington.
President Trump is insisting that he is putting pressure on Russian President Vladimir Putin. But right now, any peace deal for the war in Ukraine seems a long way off. Overnight, Russia launched a major attack in Kyiv, dozens of missiles, more than 100 drones. President Trump writing on social media, quote, "Vladimir, stop," adding that he was not happy with the strikes on Kyiv. Not necessary, Trump said. In the past few hours, the president welcomed the Prime Minister of Norway to the White House, and reporters asked Trump whether he thought Putin was listening to him. Trump responded, "I do." Just a short time ago in the Oval Office, the president was asked what concessions Russia should make to end the war. The president said not taking any more territory. Of course, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is dismissing any proposal that his country recognize Crimea as Russian territory. Zelensky has cut short a trip to South Africa to deal with the ongoing destruction in his country. It is not clear where peace talks go from here. Secretary of State Marco Rubio pulled back from attending talks in London, while a separate U.S. envoy is going. President Trump and President Zelensky are both set to attend Pope Francis's funeral this Saturday. Gabe Gutierrez, NBC News, Washington.
Coming up next here at 5:30, we're going to take a look at the radar. We've got one new severe thunderstorm warning that's out for parts of Orange and Washington counties in Indiana. We'll track that storm and let you know what to expect for the upcoming alert days. And Oaks and Derby. We've got a lot to talk about. We'll be right back.
Well, if you are new in town watching us, first, welcome to Louisville. Download the Wave Weather app. You're going to need it this week. Kevin, lots to talk about with this alert days back-to-back happening.
Yeah, I tell you, 3 of them in a row, that's pretty rare. We've had it once already this year because this weather has been wicked so far this season. And here we are in what would typically be severe weather season for us. And the Derby weather is always tough to pin down, but weeks like this make it even harder. You can see we've had a few of these downpours down in Bardstown where we have some heavy rain going on, and just issued between the commercial break has been another severe thunderstorm warning. That sits just off to the north and east of Bardstown. I'll get into that in a second. We also have the one across parts of Orange and Washington counties in Indiana. The alert day is in place because we thought that may happen, and we've got the alert day until 10 o'clock tonight. The alert days, by the way, if you're new to those, are just, hey, over here, pay attention to this day. We could have some strong storms or weather that may interrupt your plans. It's just meant to give you a heads up. Well, it's certainly underway, and it's happening. And we'll keep the alert day tag in place until 10 o'clock. Severe storms, and we've had multiple rounds of these today, will contain wind, in some cases hail. The possibility exists for an isolated tornado threat. Certainly some heavy rain with all of these downpours. From the Storm Prediction Center side of things, we have the enhanced risk area. That's a level 3 of 5 that they issue. Some areas to our south and out to the west are in that slight risk. That would be 2 out of 5. The greatest potential is occurring now and will persist through about 8 o'clock. At that point, the chance for showers and storms will come down and eventually fade down to a small chance, 20 30% overnight tonight. And then we'll reset and do it again tomorrow, it looks like, though they'll be a little more scattered tomorrow. Let's get you outside. Down in Bardstown, skies are mostly cloudy. We have had the heavy rain. The temperature consequently reflects that. It's 70 down in the bourbon capital of the world. Temperature in Louisville at 84, and we've got a few downpours nearby here, too. Jeff at 75, Bedford 64. Our dew points are in the 60s, so we do have enough moisture to maintain showers and thunderstorms. Some could be strong. That's the reason we have the severe thunderstorm watch across parts of Indiana, and it's why we're seeing some of these warnings fire. Look at the lightning associated with these storms. Places like Bedford been seeing strong storms. We also have severe thunderstorm warnings now across parts of Orange and Washington counties. That includes Salem and areas near Paoli. That warning will continue until 6:15. Strong winds in some places. Pockets of wind have been noted. Also, pockets of hail. And the storm to our south, down not far from, say, Bloomfield, lifting just off to the east of Taylorsville, that has the potential to produce some small hail. At least nickel-size hail would be possible with that as it moves east of Taylorsville. Places like Little Mount, moving on to the north and east as it moves into southern Henry County, certainly possible. We'll be tracking these storms as they move closer to Louisville. The timing on that looks to be closer to that 7 o'clock time frame. It's all ahead of the cold front that's moving closer to us. Our temperature in Louisville is 84. So we're still warm with a strong wind from the southwest, 33 miles an hour. Going to track these storms through the evening, gradually tapering them down. Temperature at 63 for the low, returning to 80 tomorrow with a risk of strong to severe storms. A little less in coverage tomorrow, so it's a slightly lower chance. By Thursday, we're bringing the chance back up, 80 degrees for the high. On Friday, it's Oaks Day, and our Oaks Day forecast is going to show about a 60% rain chance later in the afternoon and evening. I want to show you the Climate Vision model. ClimaVision is a local company here in Louisville, and they've developed a computer model. We're the first station in the country to be able to show this. It uses a number of things, and it's really the first long-range, high-resolution model that we would even have our hands on. So here's what it's showing. Notice Friday at 8 o'clock, 6, 7, 8 o'clock, we still have a few showers, possibly a thunderstorm around. That moves past, and then while we're going to dry it out early Saturday, there's still a small chance up until about midday on Saturday to see a rain chance. So when we combine that with what we look at through the rest of the period for Saturday, we're going to keep a small rain chance in early Saturday and taper that off in the afternoon. Temperatures are going to be a little cooler. Saturday's high temperature should come in the 60s. So again, just recapping what to expect for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We have the highest rain chance out of that period late Thursday. Some of those could be strong into early Friday morning. That's midnight. Take it down early Friday morning. Bring it back up Friday afternoon with the heating of the day to about a 40, 50, 60% chance. Again, that's not a washout. And I have to stress, we're still several days away, and the odds of this changing are fairly high. We'll just be adjusting those rain chances as we get more and more data. And, of course, we have more data now than ever before, especially with some of those longer range, higher resolution models coming on board.
As long as it's not an all-day rain for the rest of the week on Friday and Saturday, that would be nice to avoid.
Yeah, that would be a mess, wouldn't it?
Yeah, let's invest in some ponchos.
You might need it at times. That's always a wise thing to have in the wardrobe.
Yep. All right. Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah.
Well, dressed in their finest derby threads, kids paraded through the halls of Baptist Health Louisville for their very own parade. The kids were children of Baptist Health employees, and while some of them went with suits and hats, others dressed in jockey silks with fake horses. The Kentucky Derby Parade was an annual tradition for the kids at the Baptist Health Louisville Child Development Center. This was their first Derby Parade at the hospital since 2019. The Belle of Cincinnati is full steam ahead, traveling down the Ohio today before tomorrow's Great Steamboat Race. The Belle of Cincinnati left Monday morning and spent the night in Vevey, Indiana, before arriving in Louisville. She's now docked at Kroger's Festival on the waterfront. The Belle of Louisville and the Belle of Cincinnati will face off on the Ohio tomorrow, and our coverage of the race gets going at 4 p.m. We'll be right back. Authorities in Iraq have arrested a suspect connected to the deadly New Year's Day vehicle attack in New Orleans. Iraqi officials say that the man arrested this week is responsible for inciting the attack and then will be tried in Iraq under the country's anti-terrorism law. In the early morning hours of New Year's Day, a man drove a rented truck down Bourbon Street in New Orleans, killing 14 people and then wounding nearly 60 others. The man eventually died in a shootout with police. The FBI's investigation later revealed that he had proclaimed support for ISIS. Power returns to Spain and Portugal, and the outage's cause still remains a mystery. Partial train service has resumed after causing a major blackout in the country's transportation system yesterday. A huge power outage hit most of the area on Monday morning, bringing both Spain and Portugal to a standstill, grounding planes, halting public transportation, and then forcing hospitals to restrict routine proceedings. Well, we thank you for joining us here on Wave News at 5. Wave News at 6 is coming up next.